roll of toilet paper, like
when we get to 100k, you get a chair, I get the cosplay. Like, it's just something fucked up with that.
But what would you want the cosplay as?
I don't want to cosplay as anything.
Nothing, not even axe.
yeah, but that's why it makes it good, because people know you don't want to do it.
Alright, anyway, let's go to the game.
I love how he just immediately deflects.
I don't want to.
I'm still pushing Queen of Pain.
I'm just hoping we never get to 100k.
Listen,
I'm sorry, but you're not going to get the chair.
I think light blue was totally your color.
Light blue?
Yeah, it's Queen of Pain's skin color. It's like light blue.
What about Wisp? That's like light blue.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
you seen the... Actually...
We could do this toilet paper right now, and you could cosplay as Wisp right now. Just cover it in toilet paper.
No. There was a really good Wisp cosplay where you wear this like giant bulb on your hair, and then you turn off all the lights. And then you turn on the bulb. And...
Invoker.
Bad Rider!
Imber Spirit.
Radiant Team Pick.
to increase the shame share prize pool.
Yeah, it's the main reason.
One of the pages that we did on that campaign was, I think Invoker was 83% picked in week 1. Bruno, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he says it's right. So yeah, hero that is very commonly picked. How is he actually doing though? Like just from a general perspective, not from like a win rate thing. Like, do you think he's a hero worthy of pick?
I do. I think that his laning phase is significantly stronger. They buffed him twice, right? Ever since they took away a lot of base damage way back in the day, right? Like super long time ago.
And the force staff both.
Then people stopped picking him, and they changed. Like Shane said, the force staff no longer gives you damage anymore.
Yeah.
So
and attack speed.
Right. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, now you can't really go that item. Crosswex doesn't feel so great. People started going Exort, but it still didn't really feel fantastic. But now you can go Quaswex, and to be honest, Invoker is incredibly hard to lane against this Quaswex because you have pretty much infinite regen.
I think the really cool thing was they allow you to invoke 2 spells with 1 level invoke,
right?
Which allow you to get to the double Force Spirit 1 or 2 levels quicker, which is actually a big deal for Invoker. And then now they made the explosion of EMP.
Wait, how does having 2 invokes let you get it to it quicker?
Because you needed the...
I mean...
Technically, you still get
Technically, you could get there as
level.
soon as possible.
But you wouldn't have the cold snap,
but you also wanted, you know, an extra level invoke. But
I get it. It's better for sure. Like a level 9.
Hey, Bruno, you want to talk?
I think I think people can still hear me, which is good. Before going into the game, and before we continue with the draft, I wanted to talk about the predictions that were in for this game in particular.
I like that. So what did people say?
Yeah, well, I can say what people said because I actually have that information. But before saying that, because it's more interesting, I wanted to discuss the 3 predictions that are going on the compendium for this game. So we have the first one, who is going to win the match. This one is the one that we discussed before. Okay. Right? We said Fnatic. And the other one, the second one, is which player is going to get the last kill of the game. So pay attention to that.
Okay.
The last kill of the game.
That's so...
Now, is that the last kill until the people type GG?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you
never know.
You never know. It's so random.
It's a total random question, yeah.
And then the third one is which player is going to end up with the most assists.
Probably the carry.
Invoker, like AoE spells, they help a lot.
Well, you also have to assume if you think Fnatic's going to win and you think the Invoker is going to have the most assists, it doesn't necessarily coincide with what your original statement was, right? That's true. Because typically a team who wins is going to have more kills most of the time, especially like a Fnatic's lineup. I mean, they have heroes that can fight.
Quick question: if you dazzle ult somebody, and that's like the only thing you do,
not an assist.
No, you need to do damage.
It's like Omni Knight heal and repel. You don't get a
3 and armor.
You do get a heal if you kill
you damage with the heal.
Yeah, okay.
But if you just heal somebody and it hits nothing, then you don't get an assist.
Yeah, we're talking about very relevant things to the draft right now, which...
Well, I mean, it's a question that maybe somebody didn't know the answer to,
okay.
and now you know. But proximity gold is always there, regardless.
Oops.
Yeah, so you don't have to get an assist necessarily.
That's why poor Treant never really got it, because he's just sitting in the jungle just healing people.
He wants to be with his people, man.
Yeah.
Tree people.
That's why he hates being dire.
Reserve time.
There's no leaves on his
Pretty
trees.
horrible. Like.
It's kind of screwed up, right? Listen,
Okay.
if you get a problem,
I have no problem whatsoever.
Clockwork.
I love Clockwork, actually, with Invoker. You can go either Quaswex or Exort. Doesn't really matter. Both those are still good. You can line up Sunstrikes inside of Cogs. Alternatively, you can EMP inside of Cogs. Both abilities synergize really well with the hero, and it leaves you pretty wide open to do whatever you want. But I think, given the draft that VP has so far, I'm kind of leaning towards Exort, actually, because they're a low damage lineup, pretty decent survivability, good initiation, pretty good control so far. Obviously, we haven't seen what their carry is going to be yet in secondary support, but just seeing what I have out of them, I wouldn't be shocked to see like a Marana or something like that. They just seem like a lineup who is exceptional at skirmishing, taking fights pretty much wherever they want to. It's nice.
I actually like the EMP a little bit more here. Ember Spirit, one of the better way to actually lock him down is actually not to chain stun him, but to take his mana away. Shadow Shaman, who is already a mana starved hero, so EMP him and he's done. And then Bat Rider, same thing, like EMP him and he's pretty much wrecked. So Shane.
Yes, most of the Ember Spirits we've seen recently have gone mid. How does Invoker do?
He crushes him.
Bruno's giving me the eyes.
We're all giving you guys.
Invoker, even if he goes Quaswex, he beats him. If he goes Exort, I think he beats him harder, because Flame Guard doesn't really matter when you're getting right-clicked for like 100 damage in level 3.
And he has really low base HP as well.
Yeah, he does not have very good stat gain, so...
Although I actually had a chance to watch, interview done by AI when he was at the South by Southwest Monster Cup. Is that called Monster Cup?
I don't
Monster
know.
Invitational or
Monster
something? I
Invitational.
think that's what it was.
So, in his interview, he was talking about none of the other teams are playing Ember Spirit, which he thinks, is a surprise because he thinks Ember Spirit right now is one of the more stronger heroes. And their way of actually playing Ember Spirit is actually skipping the Flame Guard. He says that if you actually max out Chain and then the Sleight of Fist, you do actually a lot more damage. But the only time you can actually get to do that if you're a safe lane carry where you're not under a lot of harass or whatnot. Yeah. So if he's not going mid, we could actually see Fnatic Bat Rider go mid. We see Hani, I think, play mid against Cloud9 the other day with the Bat Rider mid. So there is a possibility that Arrow will be playing the Ember Spirit, in which case he might get to go for a different skill build that might not prioritize Flame Guard, but we'll see how things go. Because right now the Fnatic lineup is very versatile in terms of laning. You could go, Alright, off lane, Ember Spirit mid and pick up Arrow's hero, or you could do, Ember safe lane, Bat Rider off and pick up a mid hero. It's really hard to predict.
If he goes Exort on Invoker, I feel he's way easier to kill, like the gank, like with Chen. But if he's Quaswex, it's insanely hard to gank a Quaswex.
The movement speed is a big
and
deal.
the tornado as well, just like, goodbye, you're up in the air. See you later, lads.
Pick. I love it against Bat, just in general, because I can't remember what team. Maybe it was
Cloud9 game.
Yeah, it was Cloud9, right. He was playing an Earthshaker, and every single time there was a Bat Rider initiation, it's just nope. And the nice thing about that hero is every single patch they buff his visual range, so eventually he'll just be able to do it from the well.
Yeah.
But it's seriously so good. You can stand as far away as you want. You can let your teammates initiate. No big deal. The only thing you have to be cautious of is with the Clockwork. Sometimes you can inadvertently block your own teammate if you get stuck in cogs and you break one, but he fissures that side, and then you're just like kind of sad.
You can also do the thing in middle where you ancient farm.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
I imagine that's something that might be done this game.
It could be.
Yeah, I mean,
it denies a little bit of experience from the mid.
It really helps Invoker to, get that lead that he wants. And right now, Virtus.Pro don't have heroes that really need help. Clockwork should be fairly self-sufficient by himself. So yeah,
Slardar is still in as well, and we've seen a lot of Dazzle Slardar combos.
We also seen a lot of Dazzle by itself. I'm not sure. I think Andy and I have been talking a lot about Dazzle. What's your take on the hero? Like, is he worth all the hype?
I think he's really good for over-aggressive heroes like Clockwork who want to get up in their face and can shallow grave him to get him out of trouble.
Okay.
And the ulti really makes him like Invoker or something like that, like right click just so much harder. I think it's really good. It's good with illusion heroes as well.
Okay.
Like Naga and stuff like that.
This is weird.
That's because Fnatic just picked Morphling, man.
Okay.
I don't see the problem with the hero.
Here, I think it's okay, because look at Virtus.Pro. That team have
Forge Spirits.
10 seconds. 10 seconds remaining.
My
they
last
have
pick.
none, but their last pick has to be a carry.
Yeah.
So unless they pick like a Luna, which is they can't because it's banned, and they don't have Lycan because they banned themselves. Like, do you just pick AM? Do you pick Mirana and just try to go hand?
Doesn't Morphling counter AM though? Like you can make an illusion of the really strong.
I mean, I think it's
counter
more.
each other.
Yeah, it's more of like
because if you blink Manta on Morphling, and the Morphling doesn't have waveform, you go and you explode.
Actually, Morphling used to be a very popular hero past TI2, and AM's rise of popularity was killing Morphling day after day after day.
Yeah. It's kind of who gets a jump though, isn't it? Like if the AM gets a jump on the Morphling, he has the advantage, but if it's the other way around.
There are some situations I would say that the AM has the advantage, but sometimes, like way back when Morphling was picked, like Limi was saying, Shadow Demon was also very common, and Shadow Demon like destroys anti-mage, so it's very hard.
Okay, so for most Drow games, you have to be a parity or ahead, and we'll see whether Virtus.Pro's early game is good enough for that.
I love the greedy choice, though, I'll be honest. I really like the fact that Fnatic picked Morphling, which I never thought I would hear myself say. But given these circumstances,
yesterday you were
like you're looking at VP's team, it's like, sure, the Drow deals very well with Drow, and so does Morphling, and so does Bat. So I really hope that the counter initiation from this Earthshaker and the Clockwork and maybe a Quaswex Invoker can buy him the space that he needs, because if not, we're going to see a repeat of last time VP played Drow in the Dream League, and it wasn't great, you know? And G has a new Invoker set. What a player.
Look at his face! He looks like a clown.
It is a little bit crazy looking, isn't it?
What is this set? I don't think the mask is...
Yeah, no, it's part of the set. You can set it to Exort.
I think this is the Dota Cinema
or
set.
hair. Exort, Quaswex, or hair.
Elaborate next level Tro.
Oh, but he has the Wex face on. He must be Wex.
Well, he got pulled a few tangos. It's pretty common, but I don't think.
I think if you go this, you exhort.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I don't think you buy this much regen if you're going Quaswex.
Especially the null talisman.
Typically, what I do at least is I'll go 3 Quas, 1 Wex, because you can just right-click the person like over and over and over again. And the other nice thing is too is that you don't need more points into Wex for the laning phase. All you need is a Tornado, because the lift time is based on Quas. So if you're against a Bat Rider per se, in some cases all you have to do is throw the Tornado and it doesn't matter because you'll have the regen, right?
Yeah, but the baby Tornado is not exactly great. It's so small, the range, if you only have one.
Yeah, it's small, but you don't need the range. You just need to make sure that it hits, because I'm just speaking like, obviously Bat Rider's offlane this game, but if he was mid, then if he's walking towards you because you guarantee Tornado every time, even if it's 1 Wex. Ties quite a bit, and No Tail's going to block the Ancients just because he was anticipating that fissure mid, so that's already come into play, using a sentry for that.
Yep, good stuff. The thing I'm very surprised about is Era on the top lane is he actually didn't skill his morph until he was well between tier 1 tier 2 tower, and now he's morphing to a lot to agility, which is normal, but look at his mana, it's done. So when he gets 2 and 3, he's actually going to miss 1 waveform because of that. Hopefully he doesn't cause him to miss a kill.
Maybe he was waiting to see what the lanes would be.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Shaker, it would actually be very difficult for him to farm. And in a 1v1, sure, Trixie probably beats the Clockwork, but it's not by a huge margin. I don't think you can actually kill Clockwork in that 1v1 unless he plays really poorly.
You just have to drain your mana. It's so infuriating.
Seems like Trixie's having a little bit of a hard time, but he does have 4 stack here on the Dazzler, and now 5. He's actually going to bully the Dazzler back a little bit.
He might get first blooded here. He's going to end up dropping Earthsart. He picks off Arrow while he's solo, and now Fly wants to commit. He's waiting for the battery assault to wear off. He's got Ether Shock and Shackle, but he unfortunately is not going to be able to do it on his own. So that mana was a problem, and mid as well. Or excuse me, not mid, offlane. Looks like there was a kill. So Trixie gets Dazzle, but forfeits his own life.
I mean, that's a win here for Trixie, so would you consider that a win? Like
he didn't give the kill to Illidan, so I guess it's okay.
No, a win for the Bat Rider.
Yeah, getting a kill and then not giving gold to the carry is definitely a win.
Orphan would die to a Clockwork Soul.
It was what you said about the no mana, and then the mana burn from the cloaks.
Yeah, he couldn't morph to Strength, unfortunately. And that's going to force Era to forego any thought of going ahead of Midas. He just goes boots first now.
I think it was honestly a bit of a mistake by the supports too, because if your laner is having a hard time, you don't pull. You know what I mean? Like, because he pulled right there, he didn't have a creep wave, and I think he was maybe expecting to have one and just got caught in the position because there was nothing there. Because if battery assault at level 1 around a full creep wave, you're not dying, right? Like, you can just sit there. But because he didn't have any creeps, then suddenly the situation changes drastically. Trixie, he's going to get fissured here, trying to fly over the trees. He's got the Firefly. Oh, they got him.
Right on target. And you guys are wondering what kind of build we're seeing. It's not a Wex build. It's going to be Exort Invoker. And that's going to, going back to the point that you're saying, it doesn't matter if you have Flame Guard or not, or Ember Spirit, you're going to just take right clicks up the face. And that's exactly what G is doing to
Sunstrike is pure damage as well.
Yes.
Now, this is a 3 CS Ember Spirit compared to the 17 and 4 of G. So, yeah, Invoker stomps this hero very hard.
Ember Spirit could go mid against the majority of the good mid heroes.
Well, you have to bottle crow pretty much if you're going to mid on this thing, especially if you're against a hero that's ranged, because you need to use your Flame Guard to push out the wave a lot, and you need to make sure that you can get rune control, which in this situation, honestly, for Hani, shouldn't be too difficult. He's already got a haste, so he can secure the 4-minute rune pretty easily. He's got vision of its bottom, so...
You can activate a Flame Guard and walk next to the creep wave, but that's not going to stop G from right-clicking you, right?
Well, the Flame Guard has enough range to where if G is actively doing that, he'll pull creep aggro himself, and he will have to reposition. Right. So, I mean, it's not an ideal situation, but I think it's pretty much the only thing you can do. Otherwise, you're kind of just sitting there and waiting.
All right, looks like we're going to get a little bit of help on the mid lane here. Chen is coming around with the Furball creep, but well, G got to attack. Oh, he's really slow on the reaction, and he's going to go down here. Sunstrike's going to get dropped, not going to get any kill. He definitely saw the Furball for like a full second. I guess he was looking elsewhere.
I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, there was a haste on Ember. I don't think you can run from that.
Fair enough.
And he doesn't have Ghost Walk because of Exort.
Yes.
That's like you said earlier, if you don't have Quas Wex, those ganks are a lot easier to come by.
Even though Hani got the kill, he's still behind in this lane, like even with G dying, because he got a Sunstrike kill, so he's still doing quite well for himself.
It seems he was rushing a hand of Midas. It would just...
Some people just go treads. Some people go Force Staff. I personally don't play Exort that much because I'm pretty bad at it, actually. I'm just like, for whatever reason, I always forget that I have Force Spirits up. Fissure.
Ooh, mid lane Sunstrike's going to come by.
Yeah. But it misses.
Yeah.
I actually stack jungle camps when I play Invoker.
Yeah. Do you do like the 4 Exort, 1 Quas, 1 Wex build? I've seen people do that too.
I actually sometimes get more in Quas than Exort because the Forge Spirits don't have enough time to stack camps.
Yeah.
And the Quas increases the duration of them.
Yeah, that's true. It's a pretty good idea. The 30-second creep wave just always spawn a Forge Spirit and guarantee stack.
Not if it's level 1 Quas.
How long do they last level 1 Quas?
Like 14 seconds or 15 seconds or something.
Really? That's
hover over it there.
It's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Okay, yeah. So you do need 2 Quas. Minimum.
I like how this has into like a...
Well, the thing is... fun hero, like in all aspects, like he's fun to watch. So I'm interested in it.
I think Jodam's dying right here.
He's dead. He is super dead.
TP support.
TP supports are fun. Oh, there's a grave though. Can they drive him away? He manages to slide a fist and does fairly long range. What a zip was that, Hani?
Maybe he forgot that we slowed.
Oh,
yeah.
no deny.
Okay, so for any Ember Spirit player out there who doesn't understand what just happened, when you're slowed and you actually use a Spirit, like you're casting the spell itself, not going to the Remnant that's already out, the movement speed is based on your move speed.
Yes, so if you're
slowed...
Hani
tried to throw out a Spirit to snipe the kill after the Grave wore off, but he was poison touched, so he didn't actually go to it, which sucks for him.
Yeah. Especially when he's behind.
Yeah, he's still only got 13 CS. It's 6 minutes into the game. Like, he is not having a great time.
He's reliant on levels, though, Ember, more than farm at the start, really.
I mean, you still need some items, because the thing is, if you're going mid-Ember and you're maxing Flame Guard, you're not going to be on the outside of the fight just spamming Slide to Fist like you would if you were a carry. You're going to be in the middle of the fight with Flame Guard on hoping that that deals a majority of your damage. So I would actually argue the opposite. If you do not have farm on this hero, and you're trying to stay in the fray, at least for the first 20, 30 minutes of the game, you're going to get demolished. Like, that's a problem because they have a Drow and an Exort Invoker, so there are methods that they can use to just flat out destroy you.
Yep.
So,
and this Exort Invoker just picked up Hand of Midas, so his right clicks will be that much longer, not much faster, and he's gonna get those levels. So I imagine Ember Spirit either have to leave the lane now to actually recover by ganking his way back in the game. I don't think farming his way back is gonna work.
Sniffing out middle again.
the one thing we always have to be keeping track of too is like the carries in comparison to each other. I mean, Drow has gotten pretty much the same exact farm as Era, more or less, like 2 or 3 CS difference, maximum.
Era died once, though.
Yeah, Era did die, but it was super early. I don't think he lost much gold.
Trixie, though, now.
Trixie, it's in trouble. Frost Hero spam. NS behind the tower. Nice fissure. Look at that range, man. Unbelievable. There's even a ward behind that little patch of trees, so they're going to be able to pick him up, and they get the tower. Illidan secures the last hit, and this is looking really solid so far for VP.
Yeah. Also, very interestingly, that Illidan has maxed his war first.
On top. Arsort not having a great time.
He's made of steel. He's grand.
Yeah, he's got the pots and pans to protect him.
They're trying to bring down this tower, but that Rocket Flare is actually doing a ton of damage. Rocket Flare being maxed out. This is actually not a build that a lot of Clockwork players really like nowadays, because if you catch a support with a level 1 battery assault, you're not getting the kill. But it's actually doing a lot of work here. We saw him securing a kill against Ember Spirit earlier, and now pushing out the creep wave. So there is merits of the Rocket Flare max build.
Morphling's not a hero that is known for his laning potential, necessarily. So just having that kind of a skill to deal harassment damage before he got the Ring of Health, I mean, obviously now that he has it, it's not as bad. But just to be annoying, and just to be able to steal, like, pulls and stuff like that from No Tail, or the support if Fly was up there doing it, it's still really nice to have. And the other thing, too, is he's not going to be going for solo kills against those heroes. He can't go for Morphling after Waveform is actually skilled, and he has enough mana to use it, because Battery Assault won't be effective in that situation. So,
did you ever see a Clockwork block camps with the Rocket? It's so infuriating.
It's very annoying, yeah. I have seen it, but it's actually hard to do.
It's really difficult. You have to like time the rocket to fly over it at the
exact spot. It has to be over the camp, not hit it, but over it when the thing spawns.
Okay, I've got a question about Morphling here. If you replicate the Drow, do you get as passive?
I don't.
There's some passive you get and some you don't.
Yeah, I think that's actually one that you don't get.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of ridiculous.
Oh, Jane Lane, they're going to go gank. They are going to hit the chain, and here comes Fly. Where is a Shackle or Hex? There's nothing. They finally do Shackle him, but the Grave comes in time. It's going to be Hani that's dropping fast. Hand of God's going to come through. Hani drops, and now they want Fly. Fly being sent back. The Fidget's right there, and they get him as well. Damn.
15 HP. Well, I mean, obviously he got graved, but insane reaction from VP. And that fissure, man. It actually blocked him. I couldn't even believe that.
Did it block him?
Yeah, it did.
I love the way they let the Dazzle TP first as well, so he had the quickest response.
Yeah, I think when you're playing any support, really, if you have a stun or if you have a grave like Dazzle, you should always be the first TP. I think even if like Jotum TP'd, he still would have died. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that you bring out a good point, right? If you have a stun or if you have a grave, that's an interesting argument. Like, who TPs first? Let's say if the Invoker wasn't that low, and let's say they're backing out from the tower, there might be a case that it's better for the Earthshaker to TP first to cut off the retreat path.
Oh, Trixie. He's so fast. Firefly. Illidan's going for Vision. There's still that ward. Man, he cancels.
Sunstrike?
Oh, that was a bit off. Indeed, man. He's like,
oh, the Rocket Flare's coming through though, but it's kind of missed. Yeah.
Trixie
Poor bot runner just wants to go
left
home.
the area.
They have vision of him as well.
He'll make it back home.
Oh, Fly.
It's gonna be close.
Rest in peace, friend.
No, just
I think it's gonna be fine. Meanwhile,
he got him. But he had Tranquil Boots, so he was regenerating that whole time anyway. Sunstrike. just
leave him
sit in the
alone.
base, man. Now he's just going to permanently run back and forth the whole game.
So his skill build, he hasn't learned any in Flame Break.
Yeah, it's pretty common when you're in a situation where you're not going for kills to max Firefly, just because you can go to the jungle and potentially like stack and farm camps really quick to recover and get your Blink Dagger.
I think Flame Break might have actually saved him once or twice. We saw how close those dives from Drow Ranger has been, so I'm actually surprised he doesn't have that 1 point just for the utility.
But they don't have any channeling heroes as well.
Well, he got it now. Like, he just skilled it at 8. He just leveled, so.
Stream cheater.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to go for him once again here. Earthshaker's hiding in the woods. There's the fissure. Oh my god, the damage output is absolutely insane. Trixie just melts. Here comes No Tail with this creeps coming around, but a little bit too late.
Unless this fight breaks out, in which case we'll talk about that. But yeah, they're not going to be able to chase. And Fnatic still continue to get a little bit farther and farther behind. But we were talking about the defensive posturing of VP and what kind of potential they would have in that regard. But they've actually been the aggressors for the majority of this game. They're the ones going for kills. Sure, Fnatic, they got counter-ganked once. But that was pretty much the only time. And now, speaking of more aggression, Sunstrike coming in on top of Hani. G going to get himself yet another kill. And Virtus.Pro have no intention of backing down. It's just, they're going, man.
You were saying in the draft about taking away Ember Spirit's mana, but now all you have to do is summons. I mean,
hook middle lane. Arcel finds No Tail. He's going to block all the creeps out as well, and the meatball to follow it up. Trixie, he wants to find a lasso on Arsar. He's going to use a flame break, gets in range. He's going to pull him potentially into the tier 2. Era TP's in as well. It's going to be a very, very needed kill for Fnatic. That is their 3rd kill of the game.
Yeah, meanwhile, when that kill was happening, there was an intense micro battle for the tier 1 tower where the Invoker was using Force Spirit to last at the tower, and No Tail was trying to use the creeps to deny the tower. Looks like G with the high base damage won out that fight. Pretty good stuff for him.
So because at first I liked the Morphling pick a lot, but given how well VP are playing this, suddenly that pick doesn't really seem as relevant because Illidan has already mowed down 2 towers. And he's going to hit level 11 soon, which means marksmanship is going to be doing even more damage. So at that stage, how do they really deal with them?
It's all on Trixie, really, isn't it?
Well, it is on Trixie, but I think Hani was hoping to have a much better time.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of assuming that maybe that matchup would go more favorably for the Ember, but it really doesn't. So I think they kind of had their eggs in one basket, say, okay, Hani's going to buy us time for the mid-game. That hero has a lot of damage output, but can't really live against VP's lineup.
Yeah, and VP's now just straight going for these towers. Look at Illidan. He already has a Mask of Madness and now a Shadow Blade. I don't think he'll be escaping much with the Shadow Blade. In fact, I think he's going to be like sneaking right behind people and start killing stuff. Invoker teleporting on top lane with a Boot to Travel, Hand Midas, as well as a Force Staff. I do not see Fnatic actually stopping this push. This just reminds me of Cloud9 when they pushed down multiple towers and Fnatic could not do a single thing against the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, I really feel as though Fnatic just... It sounds weird, but they aren't experienced against playing Drow lineups. The Cloud9 game was a bit different, though, because they put the Drow mid. Yes. And they weren't really expecting it. And speaking of expectations, looks like VP is well aware that Fnatic is doing Roshan. They just don't care. Yeah. They say, you can have your Aegis, it's fine. We're going to take your safe lane tier 2. Who do you give the Aegis to? In this case, I would probably say Hani, but...
I'm surprised it's not Hani. Hani needs to jump in and, like you say, use a Flame Guard for the most of his damage, and he most likely will be dying. So Era might be playing that frontline role. Yeah, I don't think Virtus.Pro cares. They're going to just go up the high ground, activate a Mask of Madness, and just go. They have Annis backing things up with Grave. They have Arzar on the backline as well, hooking and whatnot. So we'll see whether these tier 3 towers are going to be going down quick.
Hurting a lot, like.
The base defense for Fnatic is still pretty good. Once you have Mass Serpent Wards off
it's been used. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when it's up again, it'll be nice. But I mean, VP, what rush do they really have? Do they really need to end the game right now? Because the Drow, farm-wise, is still pretty far ahead. Well, maybe not that far ahead, but a decent margin. 2,700 gold, give or take, right now at 15 minutes, which is actually, yeah, that's quite a bit. That's almost a full Shadow Blade worth of money, and the difference between Illidan and Era right now. So time is definitely not on Fnatic's side right now. If Era can manage to farm 1 or 2 items up, but other than that, I think they're in a very bad situation.
Yeah, and I mean, what is going to happen for Fnatic in the next 2-3 minutes here? I think the best bet is having Trixie finish farming that Blink Dagger, which, by the way, we saw 10-minute blinks as a standard timing. Last couple of times we've seen Bad Rider. Look at the time right now, 16 minutes, and Trixie barely farms a Blink. And even after he gets a Blink, guess what? Earthshaker is going to be your worst enemy from Virtus.Pro. So I feel like Trixie's going to continue to see a very tough time. And if Virtus.Pro wants, they could push down this mid-tier 2 at any given moment and not really lose too many heroes for it.
I think they could just get it for free. I'm actually surprised they didn't just go
from top to mid. Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Because the glyph was used, so why not just go for the tier 2 straight away? Maybe they were a a little bit afraid of the Aegis. I don't see why they would be. It's just a Linken's Morphling. Let's be honest, that hero doesn't impact much until he gets a second or a third item. I mean, he has it now, but...
At the time, they didn't. He didn't have it, yeah.
I think Jadam's going to have a Blink Dagger at around the same time that Trixie gets his.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
The thing that's even more staggering is looking at the net worth. It's like Hani is worth 3,600 gold. The support Earthshaker on VP has more gold than he does. Well, not just the power of towers, but the power of winning your lanes super hard.
What would you do differently in this case, in this game? Could you dual lane mid with Ember Spirit? Would that have made a difference?
I think when they saw the Invoker pick, it was just a little bit maybe too greedy to go for a Morphling, or maybe Era just doesn't play Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just saying, okay, well, we can't put Era on this, we need somebody else to play it. Oh, I guess we have to put it mid. It's a bad matchup, but we'll try to compensate, you know? I think that's probably what ended up happening, because somewhere down the line, they could have picked a hero that would have matched up well against Invoker. They just never did it.
Like Queen of Pain.
Even Bat would have been better.
I think Bat should have gone mid, Ember safe, and then picked the off lane. But like you said, perhaps Era wasn't too experienced with the hero. And here comes this tier 1, tier 2 push. Fnatic, though, now with the Aegis, a Linken's finish, and the possibility of a Master Urban Ward, as well as a Blink Dagger Bat Rider, does have some things to defend against this. No one's making that rotation. Virtus.Pro is going to get this tower for free.
It's crazy, like.
This is pretty much the worst case situation for heroes like Morphling, because you don't really have any solo kill potential right now. It's not like another hero like AM, where if you find a support out in the open and you have Manta Battle Fury, you can just kill the hero. Morphling doesn't really offer that until he has roughly like 10, 12,000 gold worth of items. So he needs like E-Blade, Linken's, possibly Treads, and like full agility morph, basically, to be able to do much. And Era is still pretty darn far away from that.
Yeah, I think Fnatic, though, still have some game in them, because the high ground defense of Fnatic is actually pretty impressive. You have, you know, Chen creeps offering things like Tornado, Master Urban Wards from Fly, the Bat Rider from Trixie. So I think breaking high ground is going to take some effort from Virtus.Pro. So
if they're 5-manning and you're Bat Rider, who do you go in and grab?
You're going to run into
Earthshaker.
I mean, you want to grab either Drow or Invoker. But the problem is the Clockwork and the Earthshaker is going to just make you grab nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts as well. And even on top of that, once the Dazzle starts getting more levels, he can start putting more points into Grave, which means that potentially you could be looking at a Fissure, a Hook, and a Grave on the person that you go or try to initiate on, and that's not ideal.
Did you see the little troll kill the ward?
Yeah, man.
What a ninja troll.
Put yourself in harm's way when you're dewarding your
The
own
troll, he's as equally as important as Chen.
I don't know, man.
It's a baby.
I really feel like this game got very quickly for Fnatic. They just had a couple of mistakes. That counter gank mid, honestly, I feel is what turned the game the most. Like when they tried to kill G and they just couldn't do it, and they lost 2 people. Yeah. I mean, that is momentum-changing stuff. Blink Dagger on Trixie bottom lane, Enchant, Fissure, and good night. G manages to pick himself up some more gold, and he's almost got a Hex, and it's 20 minutes in.
Yeah, the really cool thing about Butcher Travel that allowed that gank to be successful was Butcher Travel allows you to stack TP with teleport scrolls without having a staggering time, if that makes sense. So they both got there instantly, basically, and then Bat Rider just got picked. And we're looking at Drow Ranger's farm, Illidan's farm.
Just has 5k cash.
Yeah.
Casual.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to spend it. Just kind of like the gold.
What?
So you just go like Butterfly. I assume he might do something like a Manta. It's not, well... Sure.
Could he just go BKB?
Manta's good for the push, but he could go BKB. The thing is, I don't really think he needs it.
I don't think he needs it either. I mean, you have a
he
Dazzle.
Does. He gets a BKB.
You have an Earthshaker. You have a Clockwork. I would personally favor a Mjolnir. Just stack up the DPS.
With the BKB, he's like, I don't give a shit about anything.
But he already doesn't.
But his lineup is supposed to be made to defend him anyway. Yeah. So I feel like getting a BKB is redundant in terms of an item choice, because you already have an Earthshaker, a Grave, and a Hookshot to protect you.
Right.
Like, that's what the heroes are there for.
In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're BKB, your Dazzle cannot heal you or Grave you.
Yep. Well, actually, I think you can still get healed, you just can't target him with the heal.
Okay, but you definitely cannot grave him. Yeah, so... They're so far ahead. Like, as long as he spends his goal and does something, yeah, it's fine.
Oh no, Trixie not again. Trixie, never forget 2014.
Who has Trixie on the team?
He just wants to get farm. Isn't it Bruno? Don't you have Trixie?
I think you have Trixie.
Oh, you have
he
a
has a
bye
bye.
week. That's right.
I beat that bye
And
guy
it doesn't
last week.
matter. It doesn't matter that Era is getting wrecked right now because you're beating me by like 8 billion points.
Yeah, but he's still only 1-1, and he has a ton of CS, so he's still getting me points. It's just
Alright.
not as many as
Last week,
yeah.
I think Era led the.
Oh wait, never mind. Fnatic haven't killed any towers.
Just a little on
I was like, wait a minute, who got the last hit on? Oh. Yeah,
Not good times, man.
It's not great.
Yeah, look at Illidan. He's got the well now the alacrity buff from G. He's also got the
God, look
weave
at that
buff
damage.
from NS. Man, look at this. It's like a tank that could also move very quickly and tank. When I say tank, I don't mean the RPG term of tank. I mean like a freaking German tank that rolls over things.
I like that.
Yep, tower.
Oh,
There's just no way, man. Like, this tower is so dead.
They're defending.
230.
I mean, they're doing their best, but the thing is, that is a naked Deso Ember Spirit. So if he gets touched, he's going to turn into space dust. Like, he just doesn't have any items at all. Glaring weaknesses of Ember is that he's still very reliant on his laning phase. Era goes in pretty aggressively.
Alright.
He got sent home, obviously.
Nice.
Now, if you have an E-Blade, that suddenly becomes a lot more terrifying. Yeah. But unfortunately, he does not have one. So another alacrity here. One's on Era. He misses from low
3
ground.
times in a row,
Like a
isn't it?
million times, yeah. But they get the tower for free. And the thing is, I still feel as though they could just go high ground and just sit up there with Illidan.
Are they in a rush though? They're not in a rush though. They're just relaxed.
I mean, I think they should go now, knowing that Bat Rider is not even there. Like, because they
Yeah.
scout him out with the rocket. It's a 5v4. They should just start hitting the buildings.
Grace to you.
Normally, side of harass like this is very good. The Dazzle, providing the HP, constant HP region. Another Weave comes online, which is totally negating the damage that Desolator is putting out by Ember Spirit.
Cooldown on Weave. It's ridiculous. It's nearly up by the time it went off.
Yeah, more or less. I think, doesn't Aghanims make it last longer?
Yeah. And it increases the amount you get per second.
Yeah, it looks like Illidan is actually going to use his Shadow Blade for the first time. He's going to go right on Trixie on top lane. Look at these deeps coming out. The BKB is going to allow him to secure that kill. Personally, not a big fan of his item choice this game, but again, it doesn't matter. They're so far ahead.
Shock. Like, VP have come out of this pretty damn strong.
Well, James called it, man. VP going to win this game.
We were all non-believers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, VP.
That's harsh, man. That's worse than we got it. But regardless, still VP playing a very, very solid game. They take middle rocks. It's 14-3, so it's not like it's been an insanely action-packed game. It's just very methodical. VP going through the motions, killing all the towers, assuming map control. They haven't lost a tower of their own.
Yeah.
Which is very impressive against a team with a Chen and a Shadow Shaman.
Right.
They haven't lost a tower.
I mean, we looked at all the Shadow Shaman wards. In fact, there was only one of them. It was in the Roshan pit.
Defensively placed, right.
So, sorry, Shane, you were...
Okay, so they got the Aegis on Ember, and they didn't do anything. It just wore off, and that was that. They didn't, like, say, okay, we have the Aegis, we have a small
Was that
advantage.
Murph, I think?
Or Morphling, yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything, though. Do you think they should have been more aggressive with the Aegis?
I don't think they could have been, honestly, because Era just didn't do enough to warrant giving him the Aegis. Sure, it lets you have 2 lives, but all you can do aggressively is wait for a hook shot on a Trixie. Clogs are going to be there. Follow-up Fissure. Sunstrike not even necessary. Arsar gets the kill with Battery Assault. Illidan actually netted inside of the base. Still has his BKB. Force Staff out to safety by G, who also is very close to an Orchid on top of his Hex. He is unbelievably farmed. He's actually more farmed than Illidan, which is kind of bonkers to think about. Oh no, another hook. This time it's going to be on high. The silence is there. Shadow Shaman wards dropped. Arsar's stuck inside his own cogs, but the meatball and the fissure pretty much just end the game.
You know what?
You know what? Last kill was Jotto. It was Jotto, no, because they call it GG after Jotto got the double kill.
So, you know what the other interesting thing was? There was no flame.